Chelsea-Arsenal, Carabao Cup semi-final first leg this week. Who is the Carabao Cup more important to? Mikel Arteta needs to win a trophy, but obviously Liam Rosenior would do very well to quieten the fans. So does it mean more to one manager than the other?
I don't think there's any doubt about this. I think it matters an awful lot more to Chelsea and Liam Rosenior.
Really?
I think he has to. If he can win that competition, it does in some ways what the FA Cup did for Arteta in 2020. It says, I know it's not his first managerial appointment. He's obviously got some experience, but this is a huge step up for Rosenior. He would admit that himself. If he can deliver a trophy in the first couple of months, it would sort of say to the fan base, okay, we can get behind this guy. He knows what he's doing. There's something tangible on the table. Chelsea are all about ruthlessly winning trophies. That's what they expect. And it would just kind of bring everyone into line behind him, I think. For Arteta, look, great. If he wins it, he can silence the people who say he hasn't won a major trophy for 6 years. But this is not a squad and a club that's built and aimed towards winning the Carabao Cup. If they win the Carabao Cup and don't win anything else, this season will be a failure for Arsenal. So it matters way more for Chelsea.
I think if Arsenal win it, it galvanises the entire season and they go on to win the Premier League. I think it could be a massive thing for that group of players to get over the line. As small a priority as the Carabao Cup probably is for Arsenal, because they've got bigger things to worry about. If they were to win that ahead of what is essentially going to be the title running, that could be huge for them.
That was Jose Mourinho's thing as well, wasn't it? Win the first trophy of the season. And Jose famous to do it at Chelsea. And I think I agree with Rob on this, James. I was surprised you said Chelsea. I can see why you said Chelsea for the Rosenior thing, but just for Arteta, it's to silence people like us. You know, if he doesn't win a trophy, if they fall at this hurdle again, he's got a bit of a record for semi-final failures. And I know you're right, bigger picture.
Silence is just for 3 months.
I know, but if
they win the Carabao Cup and they don't win the league, are we going to be sat here in May going, "Yeah, well done, Mikel, you've ended your trophy"?
But it makes it easier than running, doesn't it? If they win the Carabao Cup, then the rest of the season it makes it a little bit easier. The fact that they've actually won something. If they lose the semi-final and don't win the Carabao Cup, then any little setback between now and the end of the season, be like, well, you slipped in there at the Carabao Cup, you didn't win that. So I know where it's going, but listen, I think they both love to win it, but I still think it's a bit more important for Arteta because Liam Rosenior winning the Carabao Cup with Chelsea, is he going to keep him in a job beyond 18 months? I'm not too sure.
What I would say just about the domestic cups for Arsenal is that I think they've already proved their worth in terms of keeping a big squad happy. You know, if they'd gone out of the Carabao Cup early, they're obviously through to the FA Cup fourth round, see how far they go in that. But they've got the biggest, sort of strongest squad they've ever had. And had they gone out of those competitions early and they had big players on good money, scratching around for 20 minutes, 15 minutes here or there, or not playing at all, it would have kind of created a little bit of tension within the group that Arteta would have had to manage. But having got this far, and as I say with the FA Cup, and obviously they're going to go through to the Champions League knockout rounds as well, it just keeps everybody invested and everybody on side. So to some extent, the domestic cups have already kind of done their job. But I do get the point about getting over the line. It would be important for them. I mean, they got outplayed by Newcastle in the semi-final last year. They lost home and away to them. You know, if they were to be able to impose themselves on this semi-final, it would feel like another step forward. But I just don't think they're being judged in these terms. I just don't. I think they just don't see it as important. You know, they are aiming higher.
Well, it's definitely going to be worth counting up how many games Arsenal might play this season compared to Man United, who we know are going to be 40 games. I mean, Arsenal could probably break the 60-game barrier if they carry on in all competitions. But just want to wrap up on Man City Newcastle. It's the other semi-final at St James's Park on Tuesday. Rob, I think you're doing that game. Again, you know, City always seem to do well in this competition. Pep Guardiola wins, is a serial trophy winner, but they are playing the holders. So which way do you see this game going?
I think City will struggle in the first leg because it's at St James's Park. It's obviously a very hostile atmosphere it's a hard place to go anyway. I think they'll probably go through, but they'll need to rely on winning at the Etihad. I think for Pep Guardiola, I think it's what he will consider to be another important step for this team. He considers it a new group. And he said when they won in the Bernabeu against Real Madrid that they have to get used to winning that type of game if they're going to go on and win bigger and better things. And he will view that this semi-final against Newcastle in the same way. You know, it's like James just said there about Arteta in the Carabao Cup. It's not Pep Guardiola's main priority, but he will feel getting through this semi-final, possibly getting to a final, possibly winning it as important steps towards this newer group, winning bigger and better things, and possibly, you know, giving them the kind of the nudge to go on and really challenge Arsenal in the Premier League title race between now and the end of the season.